And then I always wanted to camp, but it's like my ex really wasn't into it. And once we split, I was like, I'm camping. And we started camping during the pandemic, and my kids love it.
That seems like it could be a red flag in a relationship.
It could be.
Not wanting to camp?
Not wanting to camp. I mean, listen, I think you can turn a lot of things into a red flag, especially in hindsight. Why didn't you like getting up early? What the fuck?
No ice in your Gatorade Zero, huh? Okay.
Hey, it's Herbert. And you're listening to the About Last Night podcast, you slippery little son of a bitch.
About last night.
You always had a thick Boston accent?
Oh, my God, dude. You should have heard it when I was a kid.
Hold that thought. Jay, guys, welcome back to the show. About Last Night here with the very funny Jay Larson, a Boston kid.
Can I just note to everyone who's watching or listening, Adam hasn't been in this room even a minute yet, and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Well, you're impressive. You're as interested as you want to be. Oh God!
What does that even mean?
I don't know, dude.
I just.
I'm getting to the age where I'm saying stuff,
I
and
just
I'm like,
you up to everyone. Like the guy comes, he's ready to roll, and then you come in with "You're as interested as you want to be." It's literally like the card you give someone when they turn 60. You're as old as you want. You're as young as you wish. Whatever.
Are you a fan of those like funny greeting cards?
I don't know. I've always wanted to get in that game though.
You strike me as a guy that would either A, write greeting cards or play the guy who writes greeting cards in a movie, in a rom-com.
Yeah, like 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
Do you like that movie?
I love that movie.
Great movie.
Okay, you loved it too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a deal breaker with a friend if you don't like the same movie, but the same way that just organically came up, if I was just like, it was slow, or I go, I don't get Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
And you go, you call him Gordon-Levitt? You're leaving off the Joseph? I don't like him enough to give him all three.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, all right, first of all, you already know the three names, but that's not a movie for me that I'd be like, this is a make or break it for me. But if I said Dead Poet Society and you're like, nah, it was a little much, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face.
Schindler's List. They really Hollywooded it up, dude.
They really did. I've never seen that movie. I've never seen Schindler's List, but I know about it. And you'll like this because we have mutual.
I know about it. Funny. I haven't been to a bar mitzvah, but I got a Jew friend. That's what you just said.
I did not say that,
That's what
Adam.
you said.
Hey,
clip it.
Delete it.
Clip it. Clip
delete it. I'm opening for the Jokers.
Yes.
In Boston.
Yes.
Coldest day of the year. This is last year. Coldest day on record in Boston history.
Yeah.
The pipes burst all over the city. They cancel the shows. So we're driving.
Come on.
We're getting there.
I'm joking.
How much time do we have? You're like, Jay, it's a 10-minute podcast.
I just started doing that recently to buddies that tell stories. It's a shitty. It's fun. Yeah.
That
Sorry.
move. Yeah.
I know you'd respect it.
So we're all driving in the car. There's a bunch of us. I can't remember who's in there. And we're passing a club, and there's a line of people outside the club. It's the only club. There's a line outside. And we're all looking at like, who are these fucking idiots? And everyone's wearing black, except there's one woman in a red jacket. I go, and then it gets quiet, and I go, check out the chick from Schindler's List at the end of the line there. And it crushes.
It did.
Oh, destroyed.
Wait, I don't get the joke.
At the very end of the movie, it's all in black and white, and then you see the one red coat from the girl.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Wait, so you have seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie. I told you I know things about it.
Bro, I was about to say, did you like fast forward through and you got the end? You're the
No.
kid that read the back of the book and got the footnotes, the
I do
cliff
the
notes.
notes, yeah.
And then you do the book report on it? I did that.
And then they're like, Adam, you left out the whole thing about the Holocaust. It's just the red coat at the end.
You're like, I thought that was the main character. You go, character? What's that?
Bug.
Yikes, dude. We're getting to that age, dude, where bugs just stick to your neck.
That's not that age. Anyway, so then everyone goes, everyone's laughing about the red jacket. And then I go, guys, the best part, I've never even seen the movie. Crushed, bro.
Wow, dude.
Get the fuck out.
Set it up and then knocked them down. You brought your own ball, set up the pins, knocked them down.
That's what I do.
Took the glove off, put on somebody else's shoes, and bought the bowling alley.
You ever done candlepin bowling?
Candle pin bowling? Mm-hmm. Is that like the midnight bowling where the lights are, it's glow in the dark?
No, but it's in Massachusetts, Connecticut, I think some parts of New Jersey. It's just tall pins, small balls. You get 3 balls.
That's fun.
And you chuck them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bumpers?
No. No. We didn't have bumpers as a kid. You would just... Jesus, I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Let me ask you something. You're a comedically and conversationally savvy dude. You strike me as someone that, like, at an awkward dinner or barbecue hang, I mean, even when you and Sal and Santino and my wife and Santino's wife and Josh Nasser went out to dinner about, I don't know, a month and a half ago, conversation was flowing. And then you showed up maybe 20 minutes in, and we were there for almost 4 hours. That was a true, like, that felt like old school comic dinners that I don't do those a lot. I wish I hung more. I wish I dinnered more and all that. That was so fun.
It was the best.
And I think the group had a lot to do with it. Nobody thought about leaving.
Well, let me two things. One, I showed up later than you guys, so I wasn't part of the ordering process.
Yes.
So I'm just sitting there, and food just kept coming.
Yeah.
And I've eaten
You
out
already
with
ate.
Sal a number of times. I couldn't believe how much food kept coming. So when
You
you
got another
say,
bug right to your right. Here, I got you.
what is going on here?
Dude, what is going on?
You know what that is? That's a termite. That was a termite. So just a heads up.
Dude, I almost got up and leapt off the chair and
No, I think you handled it sufficely.
good usage of the word sufficely.
I know, I appreciate it.
I have spent many of nights stoned and trying to take out a fly or something. I get fixated on it. Not that I can't sleep knowing the fly is living its life, but I would sleep better knowing that I ended it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so there was one a few nights ago. It landed right in the, and we're a pretty fly-free zone in our condo, and there was a the glove, the kitchen, the oven mitt.
Yeah, the oven mitt.
and it landed right in there, and man, I just fucking closed that glove, but then took it out and let the fly let it get out. And I've never really done that
It
before.
survived?
It may flew away.
Wow.
Yeah, down the hallway, and then who knows? I'll probably end it back. But I felt compelled to like really get rid of that thing.
I always feel dirty when I'm eating and a fly's around. You're like, God,
yeah.
When you're with other people, you're like, oh, it's like, is it me, guys?
Yeah, oh God, you're
it
like
me?
Pigpen from Charlie Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife and I were just in Italy. We'll come back to the dinner table thing and then Schindler's List. But we were in Italy, and there were bees.
Where were you in
Sicily.
Italy?
She'd never been to Europe. Went to London, did some shows, and then
Listen, you don't have to cut her down in the whole story. I mean, she'd never been to Europe.
I did that for her. And so we are in Sicily, Italy, and there were bees. It's a really nice hotel. Bees everywhere. They're outside when you're eating.
Sure.
Not everywhere, but more than you would like. So then one guy comes up. The staff is super attentive, like would wipe for you if you asked. And this guy comes up with a, not a fly swatter, but like a shocker. And there's a bee that flies right over our bread, and he just, bzzz, and he goes, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I mean, didn't know you guys were equipped with weapons. Also, you definitely, I don't know if you were looking, you were just concerned with keeping the meal moving, but you definitely killed the bee, and it landed right into the focaccia. And so, now I got to eat around that. I did. More bees come, guy came up, and then we just eventually got it to move. But there was definitely a handful of Euros that were looking at us, because at one point the bees, I think my wife's allergic. I should probably know that. But so we kept getting up.
You definitely need an EpiPen at all
I know
times.
her last name. And so we start
What does it have to do with that?
I know enough. So we get up and we start moving around, and we look over, and there was like a table of a French family that was just full on French, talking about how scared we were of bees or whatever.
Oh, you
it
speak
looked
French?
judgy. No, but it looked judgy.
Got it.
You can assess judgy.
A lot of
Yes, and a lot of like a lot of side like this, and then what I always hate is when and then they look back, they laugh and look back at you. That's how you know it's you.
Yeah, that's not good.
How do you handle if someone's I don't know, talking about you in public? Or how about this, YouTube comments? I want to read a few comments of your special. Here we go again. Streaming now on YouTube. Super fucking funny. Watched it all. You're a beast.
While you're looking that up, my daughter's birthday a couple weeks ago, we come back.
Shout out.
Shout out from, River, what up? Happy birthday.
This is how you did it, and then you isolate this clip, and that's what you give to her.
That's all she got. We went to a cat cafe, bro.
She's a big cat girl.
Oh, yeah. But we come back, and I got the house all dialed up. We're having kids. We're doing the whole thing.
Gave her a party, too?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we get to the backyard, and she goes, Dad. She goes, there's a swarm of bees in the backyard. And around my compost bin, this big thing, 4,000 bees. Had to have a guy come out, vacuum.
That feels like the most bees.
You would be surprised. 4,000 bees, dude. It could be right in that corner.
You had no idea.
the guy came out and he sucked them all out of the thing. So they all just like kind of went inside this thing. He sucked them all out, and there's this 18-year-old kid, and he's just like super smart. Like he finished high school at 16. He knows everything about bees. He goes, yeah, about a pound is about 5,000. He goes, it's just under a pound right here. I'm like, all right. All right, what do you have for comments?
Dude, that type of shit, you know that kid is, do you think he's got to be, right?
Getting laid?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he lives on a farm.
If you're carrying a pound of bees around and you know exactly what it weighs and how many, it's like the kid at the fair who guessed how many Laffy Taffy were in the jar. That kid probably wasn't fucking his way through high school, was he?
Is every time you see a jar of jelly beans, you like, I fucking got this.
Not jelly beans.
What do you mean? Jelly beans too much for you?
Yeah, that's
but
impossible.
Laffy Taffy, you think you got it?
I've did it once at the Edmonds Fair. It was 1994.
Jim Edmonds Fair?
Peak Fat Adam. What's that?
Jim Edmonds?
Amazing. We'll be right back. We'll keep right here. The Jim Edmonds Fair in Washington State. He's not even from there. He just like went there once and was like, dude, I got to start a fair
I got to start a fair right here.
Some fat Jew is going to guess how many taffies in this jar.
He's going to kill it.
Jim, why are you always carrying jars? And so I guess the amount, it was like 98 pieces in there, and I guess like 96.
Oh, there's barely anything in there.
I felt unbelievable. 3 years later, won a radio contest, giving away free Sonics tickets where I impersonated the Sonics broadcaster. It was a radio contest. They go, call in Kevin Calabro. Now he does it for the Blazers.
You working for the radio show.
No, I called in as a freshman in high school, and you had to do an impression of Kevin Calabro to win 2 tickets to opening night of the Sonics in, 1998. And so it was I called in and they keep you on the phone for a while. And they're like, all right, it's down to Adam and like Kimberly. Kimberly, you go first. And she goes, all right, and here comes Gary Payton, and he shoots the ball. And in my head, I'm just like, I got this. Like, I don't even know how she's in the finals right now. Nobody else must have called in, and this is a PA, and they're just like, we have to make this seem like a legit contest. And he passes the ball, and here's the Rain Man with the scoop-de-doop and the slamma-jam. I mean, it was awful.
These are all his taglines.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. No, she's just making shit up.
These up.
So then they go, Adam, and I go, 14 seconds left, Sonics down by 5, and I'm just like, set it up, and I'm like, inbound pass, Hershey Hawkins swings over deadlift shrimp, and bounce past the trunk, oh my God, I'm just going nuts, and they're like, yeah, you got the tickets, man. Hey, play. It's great to see the L Train on tracks. There's been a Jay Larson-sized hole in my comedy heart since the Crab Feast days. This is spectacular. Jay, you are truly a master of comedy. I love the special very much. You've always been killer jokes, great delivery, and really fun material. It's nice to see solid comedy that isn't some kind of TED Talk or political hackery. You're one of the best out there, and I deeply appreciate that you post your brilliant comedy for everyone to enjoy. To anyone who liked this, do yourself a favor and check out Sounds Like Bruce, your other special. It's one of the best hours of comedy I've ever seen. I loved Jay. Jay, what's up, man? Jay, you're the best. Can't wait for this. Already watched it. Gonna watch it again. This isn't for me. This guy should stop doing stand-up.
Is that real?
I would be embarrassed that I posted this. Who shot this? His kid? Okay. Well, the first 5 comments were great.
Yeah.
All those are fake. Dude, a lot of great love.
Yeah.
You're so funny, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean,
give me the backstory and the prep for this one. Like, your last special was when?
The last one was 2022. But this is where you and I align, okay? So I was just like, I want to put more of myself out, you know? Dude, when I got divorced, I kind of like shut down comedy for like a year and a half. I just needed time.
By choice?
Yeah. I just needed to like, I dropped my podcast. I stopped doing stand-up. I wasn't active on social. And I just I'm like, I need to get more material out there. So for this one, here we go again. I'm like, I want clips, And I had everything that I did early in my career, like Late Night on Craig Ferguson and my half hour on Comedy Central. And then I had 2 albums with a bunch of jokes that there's no video for.
Right.
I'm like, I'm just going to put them all together in an hour and reshoot them, kind of like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You mean T Swift. Similar guys.
You are the T Swift of comedy.
That's what people say. And so I just wanted to put it together just to have clips. And then Comedy Store was like, we want to do it with you. And so then they produced it, and then we put it out as an hour.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Did in the belly room.
Did in the belly room. One of my favorite rooms.
Is that why?
We could have done it in any room in the store, and everyone's been doing them in the main room. And I was like, man, Richard Pryor shot his hour in the main room. And
I'm fresh.
And for me, I was like, I'm doing these jokes to get them back out there. I can't do the main room. It's just, And then we talked about moving the stage out in the OR and doing it in the round in the OR.
Wow.
That's what I really wanted to do.
Nobody's done that.
No. I wanted to do it in the round. And then we just kept like thinking about it. And then it was like, it was taking so long to come up with a decision. And finally I was like, let's just do the belly room. When I first got past at the store, You wouldn't get, like, back in the day, the store, the main room was never open. The OR, there was, like, that was for all the regulars,
right.
that had already been there for a while. So belly room was where I would perform all the time.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I developed so much material up in that room. And I loved it. It's intimate. You can interact with people.
Yeah.
And so much of my comedy comes from being the middle guest at the dinner table. You know what I mean? Like, I like riffing off of people and communicating. So
it's not an essential part of stand-up, but I'm the same. I don't know how you don't do stand-up and not. It's not even not doing crowd work. I don't know how you don't can break the fourth wall more than normal.
100%.
It's the ultimate way to connect the room. You're talking with them instead of at them. And again, it's not saying you need to do crowd work, but like even in the special, there's a handful of times where you're doing it, and it just brings everybody.
Well, this for me too. For me, some of my best crowd work, if you came to an hour, if you weren't there for the first 15 minutes, you might not get crowd work 30 minutes in. Because I'm referencing something that happened earlier.
Right.
And for me, a full hour of comedy on the road or at a club, wherever it is, for that audience, that's their one night out. They're out. Make this personal to them.
Yeah.
You know what a lot of dudes used to do back in the day? A lot of like urban comics. They would record.
Careful.
You know what I'm saying? They would record that night, and they would record it, and then they would be dubbing it in the lobby so that when you came out, you could buy the show you were just at.
I have heard about that.
And that
That's
to me is
wild.
dope
because
it's different. If you go to Hamilton on Broadway, it's the same show everyone else saw. But if you come see me do stand-up, or I imagine come see you do stand-up.
Oh, yeah. Every show's different.
It's going to be different, and you more than anybody, but my crowd work isn't just, hey, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
It's someone made a weird laugh. What was that? Then we tag it back. I was watching some clip that I did with this guy, and he had a Boston accent. I go, you from Boston? He goes, no, I'm from London. I'm like, well, where? And he goes, Boston, England. And I go, oh, well, I go, there's a Boston, England. He goes, yeah, you took it from us. I go, well, then why'd you take our accent? And then he answers back with a British accent. I go, don't fucking do that. Everyone heard him.
Yeah.
And then later in the show, I like reference something about the British guy because something else. And we all feel like we're doing it together,
Yeah.
It's just... It's more exciting to me that way.
It's also, I used to get really perturbed when people would post.
Perturbed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll throw it on every now and then.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't use words like Iliza does, where there's like big words. And, shout out Iliza, you're smart. Everything's going in the right direction. But you know that sometimes you use words that nobody uses. And it's a direct attack on everyone who doesn't use that word.
She's very smart.
But also, you don't need to use those words.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not even talking about like is it obsequious, right? That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Can we go ahead and get a definition of the word obsequious? I want to say it's like nonchalant or...
Oh, I'm very obsequious.
Yeah, that's not what it is. Just the way you said that made me go,
it.
That's not the way it's supposed to be.
It just doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth.
But even I don't mind that because I go, all right, I've heard that. But you know what I'm saying? Like perturbed, I even had to go out of my way. But did it... Obedient. Obsequious means obedient. So, Jay, you've been very obsequious during this podcast so far.
Thanks. Guys, none of you are being obsequious. If I yell it at my kids.
Wow, worst teacher ever. Or parent, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you parent?
Very well. I treat my kids like they're human beings. You know what I mean? I discipline. I'm like, I want discipline in the house because I think discipline gives them safety. It gives them structure. It lets them know where they stand. And it lets them know that I care. And then at the same time, I leave plenty of room for us to have fun and for them to have fun and to enjoy life.
Even when they were like 3 and 4, like discipline?
What do you mean?
I just feel like kids are so... I guess at that age, you're able to understand and more or less, but
it's more like set boundaries. I never I've never grounded my kids. I've never made you go to your room. That's just not a part of our. It's never gotten to that.
It's just you talk it out.
Hey, we talk everything out. Yeah, we talk everything out. Sometimes I overparent. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I over communicate. I communicate with my kids a lot. I let them have their space. I tell my kids all the time. I'm like. Parents will say to me like, oh, just wait till they get older. It goes so fast. And I go, I don't really subscribe to that. And they go, well, you'll see when they're teens. And I said this to my son one time. I go, how many times people say that to me? And he goes, yeah, I know. And I go, dude, part of my job as a dad is to give you space to go be a teen, to give you freedom so I don't keep you around.
Wow.
So like I go, my job is to give you space to grow so that you can become the person you want. So you do want to be around me.
Wow.
And he's just like, oh, we have really good communication.
He's how old?
He's 10.
And daughter's?
9. Wow. She just turned 9. Yeah.
Are they buddies?
Yeah, they get along really well. I'd say 15% of the time they're just not getting along.
Yeah, but that's sibling rivalry.
Sure.
How much of that is you and just the environment you create for them to like?
I don't know. I hate to, I feel like when I was a kid, a lot of stuff that we did got taken credit for by other people. So I try not to take credit for any of my kids. I know what I like to do in the environment that I create for them, but I give them credit for like who they are. And my son's very zen, and my daughter's like a leader, and she just no one's gonna beat that girl.
But you're the consistent example, right?
I mean, and their mom when they're at their mom's house, yeah.
So I mean, then that's a co-credit.
Yeah, we set a good example.
Yeah.
We talk things out, and I'm usually pretty calm, except when I'm setting up a tent when we're camping. And they bring that up all the time. Like, oh, you should see my dad when we're camping. Oh, yeah, you should see him set a tent up.
They do voices.
No, they just.
That's just how your son sounds.
That's how my daughter
sounds.
Yeah.
Wait, you're backyard camping, right?
No, we go camping.
Camping.
Yeah.
You always been is that a East Coast thing?
I was a Boy Scout as a kid, and then I always wanted to camp, but it's like my ex really wasn't into it. And once we split, I was like, I'm camping, and we started camping during the pandemic, and my kids love it.
That seems like it could be a red flag in a relationship.
It could be.
Not wanting to camp?
Not wanting to camp. I mean, listen, I think you can turn a lot of things into a red flag, especially in hindsight. Why didn't you like getting up early? What the fuck?
No ice in your Gatorade Zero, huh? Okay.
Who likes straight up room temp
Gatorade?
Yikes.
Wow.
We're the bodies.
What do they the funny gene? Is that something like I do subscribe to? That gets passed on, I think, because I didn't see that my parents were funny until I saw them as people, which was probably not until college. High school maybe, but did I like allow it for them to know it? Probably towards the end of high school, at least for my mom. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I get so much of it from them because the way that we joke, the way that they bring things up to me, the way they make me laugh, timing stuff, the silliness, and I'm like, oh, I picked up on that probably at an early age, and that's I think sponge up more than you realize as a kid.
I think, put it this way, the way I joke with you, I would joke the same exact way with them.
Wow.
I do the same exact stuff. We'll be driving somewhere, and I go, hey, let's see if we can get how many people we can get to wave to us, and we'll roll the windows down and like, hey, Bobby! And then they'll like wave on, like, we'll do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or they'll ask me like, they could ask me, hey, are we gonna have breakfast? I'm like, no breakfast today. And they're like, what? I'm like, you're not getting it. You're not getting breakfast. And then they'd be like, what? I go, sit down when I'm talking to you. And they would just start laughing. They're like, oh, he's messing.
Wow.
The other day, we were driving the car, and my son asked a question. I forget what I said. It was ridiculous. And my son goes, really? And my daughter goes, he's being sarcastic. Like they know sarcasm.
Cool.
Because I'm just like, let's have fun. Life should be fun.
Also, what a great way to save money. Like, Dad, Disneyland? Nah, we're going to do the waving game today. 405 is packed.
Oh, man, I think you should be able to have fun. When we were kids, you could have fun with a plastic ball and no bat. You'd make something up.
Just walking into the woods. And I know this feels like such an old-timey, old-school, like, we used to just walk down the street and find leaves. But, dude, I mean, maybe some cash here and there towards the end of high school to do some fun shit with. But even then, it's like only a handful of people drove. Yeah. It's not like you were spending all your money on booze. In 8th grade, my buddies and I would take the bus down from the mall that we grew up in at the Albertsons that I worked at, and we would just take the bus straight shot to the Kingdom and see a Mariners game on a weeknight. And it just
in 8th grade?
Yeah. And we catch the bus at like 4, get down at 5. We'd at the Albertsons get like a poster board and a pen and make like signs.
Oh my God.
To try to get on the Jumbo Vision. And then you could get like a $5 pizza outside, and you could bring your food in at that point. Now you can't if it's not inside the park.
That's where you get the crickets.
Yeah,
you get those crickets inside.
And then we'd be around the stadium, and then we'd stay for the whole game, and then catch the bus right outside the park. Game's over at like 10:30. Back to the 11:15. Back to the Albertsons parking lot. One parent would pick us up and drop the other two off, and you're home by like 11:30.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was rad. Yeah.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
It was awesome. Very Sandlot of us.
Yeah. Very Sandlot.
Yeah.
What were you bagging?
I was bagging when I first. So my mom finagled my way into a '88 Chevy Spectrum. I was one of 2 kids that got their license on the last day of school, freshman year of high school. So
Freshman year?
On my birthday was graduation, and when I took my driver's ed test. Yeah.
What could you drive at 15 there?
I turned 16 on the last day of school, freshman year. So I was like, I think I was a little bit older in that class.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so I'm sitting there taking the test. I think I got an 88, knocked over all the cones, parallel parking. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And the summer rode on me getting this.
Yeah, dude.
Because my 2 best buds were playing in the band for the graduation for the seniors that day. And so I had some other friends that were graduating that I was in the play with, and I went to the Heck Edmondson Pavilion where the University of Washington is, and there I'm sitting up in the stands, and they got done playing. People were getting their names called, and they look up and see me, and I was just like, and they're like, "Fucking
No
dude,
way.
summer," because I was gonna be our ride for everything. And my mom had talked to this guy down from a used like $3,200 '88 Chevy Spectrum to like $1,600. I mean, who knows if she Sally Field Forrest Gumped it, but like something. She walked out and the guy was like, "Yo, mom, I'm driving."
He's on vacation.
That guy, by the way, quit. My mom found out because I was sitting there with her and she just was like, she's like, "Nah, I can tossing this. I'm like, "Nah, you know what, man, we're good then." And he's like, all right. Like, they needed to get rid of these cars. And she knew that. And she just kept haggling. She was embarrassing me at one point. I go, "Mom, you got to stop. Like, this is too much." I was just classic in the right stage for her to just be fully embarrassing me. And she just goes, "I got this. Wait in the lobby." And she comes out, and the guy's like, "Oh, your mom is good." And it's like, talked me down like $2,000. So she goes, "You got to get a job to pay for the insurance and the gas, and I'll like get this car for you." So then I had to work at Albertsons. So that summer, yeah, I could drive around, but all my buddies are coming in. Girls in the bikinis, my buddies with their arms around the girls, being like,
Yeah, but
"Dude,
they
did
walk
you know
there."
that Siobhan had 2 boobs?" And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, paper or plastic, and all summer, and then I'd get off and I could party at night though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool and then I went from bagging to stocking to customer service, and then I did checking for a little bit, and then I stole film and beer and deodorant and bread 2 weeks before I left to go to LA for college, and they put in cameras and they caught me and they fired me. And it was
After 4 years.
Yeah, it was a sad day. Dan Boyle, R.I.P. He's not dead. I don't know. I've never heard if Dan's dead or not. He was like 80 when I worked there.
You're saying this like everyone here is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Danny B."
Danny Boyle. Yeah, he was I think 77 when I worked there, and that was 2000. No, that was 98 to 2001. And yeah, man, he pulled me into his office and pulled up a security cam, and he just goes, "Recognize that guy?" And I was like,
Nah, I don't know.
"Yeah, oh, I did for a second." I go, "Is that Jared?" He goes, "Come on, man." And I go, "Fuck." I go, "Bummer, dude." I go, I'm gone in 2 weeks." He goes, "I know." He was like really cool about it. And I go,
Yeah.
"So what, suspension?" He goes, "Dude, badge."
Badge? You
Yeah.
got a badge?
Name tag, sorry. Yeah, I made it sound cooler.
All right, hand in your badge.
Apron. It was probably apron.
And your price checker. You're like,
And your coupon for Salisbury steaks.
that must have been amazing, though. What a
Great
great job.
Yeah. Today's episode of the About Last Night podcast is brought to you by Dr. Marty Pets, Nature's Blend. Well, it's time to keep your dog happy, playful, active, and healthy. Okay, they're going to eat. Don't let them eat their own poop or their own balls. It's time to give them stuff that's good for them. Okay, good food that they enjoy that is pretty cost effective, and that's why I'm talking to you about Dr. Marty's Pets. Okay, did you know your dog's food could be harming them potentially? Yeah, I couldn't believe it, but Dr. Marty, who is a veterinarian called the Miracle Worker by Forbes magazine, says that there's one major red flag to look out for: cooked dog food, which was my nickname in middle school, like kibble or canned food. Okay, when a dog gets dog food that's cooked at high temperatures, the amino acids often overheat and can create dangerous compounds called AGEs, AGES, or advanced glycation end products. Okay? I don't know what the fuck these things are, but they can cause dangerous buildup in your dog's system and make them act like fucking serial killers, okay? Or older than they are. High amounts of all this stuff could actually even be connected to cancer. So, what you want to do is avoid all that, okay? But look, I know it's tricky because even healthy and organic dog food is often cooked at high temperatures. So this gets us to this, conundrum of like, well, dude, how do we avoid this? How do we make it easier? Because it's hard to avoid all the chemicals and all the bullshit in my dog's food. Well, that's why Dr. Marty created his own formula called Nature's Blend. It's freeze-dried. It's raw. Okay? We all know how much we love raw dog food. See what I did there? So you don't need to worry about potential ages from kibble. It's shelf-stable, and it's mess-free, and it's full of nutrients. Who loves nutrients? Raise your hand. My man. And it tastes absolutely delicious to dogs. You want your dog to enjoy their food. You want them to enjoy their life. And I personally know that Pickles and Bagel, my pups, love it. They eat it. We put it out for them. They look over at us. They go, they give us a thumbs up. If your dog gives you a thumbs up and even says, dude, dad, this is great, and they start talking, you know it's fucking delicious. Nature's Blend has improved their life. It's gotten more of a pep in their step. They wake up ready for the day. They don't shit all over the house anymore. They're more playful. Their coats are softer. Their skin, you can feel their skin and fur. It's nice. Even the vets have made comments on it. It's convenient, okay, versus the messy, fresh food that you have to thaw out. And it just has turned over a new chapter in the way that they live and the way that they dog, you know? The way that they raw dog. It's raw dog food. By the way, that is a great name for a company. These guys might need to watch their backs. I might come out with my own. I can't wait for your dog to try it. Pickles and Bagel love it, and you will too. For a limited time, enjoy up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Crispies, their best-selling wild-caught cod skin treats. I tried it when I was high. It was delicious. Just go to drmartypets.com/ALN. Every order is backed by a 90-day money-back promise. So if you want to support your dog's digestion, soft coat, and healthy lifespan, go to drmartypets.com/ALN today for up to 54% off. Okay? Dogs love food, and you love your dogs. What are you waiting for? Enjoy the rest of the episode. When I saw Superstore come out, I was like, oh, there has to be another grocery store comedy. I have notebooks somewhere of just stories on stories from all these characters, but it's, I don't know.
Did you know back then that you were going to get into this? Well, you doing plays
I was doing
in high
plays,
school.
but I didn't know comedy or.
Yeah.
Didn't know
But
it was
you
gonna
kept
be
a notebook.
podcasting?
No, that you kept a notebook.
Yeah.
I didn't start keeping. I started that the summer before I moved to LA. I was like, wanted to write this movie, and I remember like being at like a pool hall with my buddies, and like, hold on a sec, and I grabbed a piece of paper and I was writing down ideas, writing down scenes. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just writing stuff down, and they were like, what is it?
Isn't that wild? You don't even know. It's like I don't remember seeing somebody do that. I just was like, and you're probably the same way, right? You're just like, something in your brain was just like, I should put that down for something. I'm gonna make. I mean, me and my buddies were making home movies on the weekends and stuff, like, and just sketches.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about making a full movie. But
yeah, I just knew that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna move. You know why? Good Will Hunting came out, and I'm like,
wow.
Oh, they could do it. I'm gonna do it.
Wow.
And so then I just started like. I came up with this idea, and I was, gonna write it down. But then I got a voice recorder as soon as I moved to LA, and now I just use the voice recorder on my phone. I'm just like dropping
the Kevin McAllister voice changer.
You know it, baby.
Yeah.
You don't think I got that reference? Home Alone. You don't think I have the Lego fucking Home Alone?
Is there a movie you saw as a kid that made you go, I am gonna move to LA? I mean, Good Will Hunting as an adult.
Hunting.
Okay.
I didn't really know until I was like in high school, as like a junior, that I could do it or that I would do it.
What were you gonna do before that?
Be a lawyer. I always want to be a lawyer.
Why?
Because I love the battle. If you think about it, dude, comedy is all you're doing as a lawyer. I want to
convince them that you're funny.
You want to convince someone that your
point of view is
right.
Yeah.
Comedy is all manipulation.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to get you to believe this, and then I'm going to go boom and hit you with this. I'm going to do this and hit you with this, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to move you around, and then the way I position my body and the way I move here, all of it's going to play into getting you to believe the next thing I'm going to say without you expecting what I'm going to do.
Wow.
For me. You look at Jeselnik. Jeselnik is like, he's always going to do the same thing, and it's just, you're just waiting.
Yes.
Can he shock me?
Yeah.
Something that I wouldn't think.
Right.
And I'll say, as a professional comedian who sits in the back of the room and watches comedians, and I know where they're going to go, he's the one dude I watch, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Like a clip comes up on my social, and it's Jeselnik. I'm like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because I never
the misdirect
predict where he's going.
Is that
Ever.
your favorite type of what we're doing?
I love dark humor. You know what I mean? I love watching. I mean, it's everything. There's some guys that are similar to me, and I don't like watching them because I'm like, I don't want to like be in the same zone. I like to work my own stuff out. There's other people I watch like recently I was opening for Iliza, and I watched her hour, and I was like, God damn, there's some like great material in here.
She's a fucking beast, dude.
She's a beast.
It's actually wild how, even I just saw her the other day at the store, and she, had another baby, but like, I'm like, I think you just put out a special. And she's like, I think she just shot one.
Yeah.
And just wild, man. I mean, everyone's on a different path, but like just already up in like a new 20 minutes that I'm like, oh, that's already going to be like, just, I don't know, man. Some people are just built for that.
I just found that ability recently.
Cool.
To the point where like it takes me a long time to write comedy. But the other day, I was just telling you this before we started. I was like cleaning, found like a quarter of a joint. And I don't smoke that much anymore. And I just smoked it. My kids were sleeping. I sat in we have 2 hammock swings, and I sat there and I just put in my voice recorder 11 minutes straight of like just a run of going to the grocery store. And then 2 nights later, I'm at the store. I'm in the main room, and I never work out in the main room. I feel like you got to like give them your best when you're in the main room. But it was light, and I go, you know what? I'm just gonna do it.
That's the best.
Yeah,
light main room is the best.
Light main room. 7 minutes from that 11. I did 7 minutes straight. Never been done before on stage, and it all worked. And I was like, oh, man, this is great.
There might not be a better – for people that don't do stand-up or don't do stand-up – for people that don't, I don't know have – I mean, it's –
What is being said right now,
the
Adam?
feeling of doing anything new and having it get any sort of response that gives you confidence that it's going to stay is wild. 7 minutes in a row of it is
7 minutes.
Crazy.
All about being in a grocery store and being the middle guy.
What do you mean the middle guy?
Being the middle dinner guy. No, I just been riffing this idea that it's like not fair for me. I feel guilty being out in public around civilians and using my talents. I feel like it's like Sheryl Crow going to karaoke. Like, you know what I mean? Because I just like, people don't know I'm a comedian, and I'm just hitting you with fucking bang,
oh,
bang,
man.
bang. I'm just
in everyday life situations.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, they're like, this guy's so funny, but they don't know. They don't know, like,
bro, this is great.
Yeah.
Yes, I can totally relate to this.
Exactly. We all can, because you just like, I should tone it down.
Bro, I made some gal laugh at the Delta check-in desk like at 8 a.m. maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm just, I had that exact thought of like, she's got no idea.
No idea.
No idea the weekend I just came from in Columbus.
You don't know what I could do if I wanted to. You ever do it in a group setting? You ever see a bunch of people and then you pop something off in the little group vibe? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
Superpower.
I went to Hollywood Bowl with my kids and my neighbors and their kids.
To see what? Well, let me guess. The John Williams Pixar sing-along tribute? No.
It was L.A. Philharmonic doing all Marvel music.
Oh,
and then
my God.
Then they would show the clips.
Cool.
And you went through the whole thing. But there was this one scene, and it's like there were times when the music would be building, and then you see it happening, and there was a guy at the Hollywood Bowl in the audience. He goes, "Don't do it!" And it killed because everyone knew the bad thing was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Don't do it to who?
Whatever the next scene was going to be from the Marvel movie, and he just yelled it out because we all knew. Everyone knows the movie. It's not like a new release, and it killed so hard.
At the Hollywood Bowl.
There's 17,000 people.
Maybe he got 3,000 to laugh.
Maybe he got 3,000 people to laugh. And I remember sitting there, and I was so proud of that guy.
You know who that was? That was the 18-year-old with the pound of bees. And he fucked that night.
He
might not have fucked that night.
Maybe up back. Maybe up in the back in the trees or something.
He got a bull job. That is a superpower in and of itself, is to be able to like sniper your way publicly. Movie theaters, I've done that a handful of times at movie theaters.
Getting a good laugh out there?
Oh, yeah. But not on purpose. Saw Planet of the Apes, the first one, when James Franco, the new, I guess, rendition, and he befriends the ape, and then teaches. You remember he teaches the ape.
I've never seen it.
This isn't a spoiler. It came out. Jenny got AIDS and died. Forrest Gump came out 40 years ago. I'm not. This isn't new information.
Sure.
He befriends one of the apes. I think he works with them, and then that ape, and then a bunch of other apes come out, and then try to take over the Staples or. I haven't seen it in a while, but he befriends one of the monkeys and teaches him how to talk. Right? That's his thing. He's like, dude, he's do my taxes, like pour your own milk, and at the end of the movie, all the apes are attacking James Franco, and I think the rest of the village or whatever. This is the worst pitch or summary of this movie ever.
You're not ruining this for anybody. Everyone's like, I don't know what he's fucking talking
This is
about.
not the movie, and it wasn't James Franco. It was James Lipton, and so. the monk. So they're all getting ready to attack, and the one that Franco took under his wing to train, they zoom in on him, and he just goes, "No!" And I just burst out laughing, and I go, "Get the fuck out of here!" I was so baked, and it was so intense and so quiet. Full packed ArcLight opening night, midnight screening, dude. It was like I was Chappelle closing his special. I mean, it was, and then my buddy just starts hitting me, and he was like,
You're like, I know I got this.
Hilarious. No part of me was trying. It was just like how it was so funny. I laughed followed by that because I was like, just that was so funny to me.
Yeah.
I mean, those moments. Have you ever laughed publicly when you shouldn't have?
I mean, probably a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I mean, I just don't care because there's so many. I have such a dark sense of humor, and I find the darkest things hilarious.
Isn't that a blessing?
I think so.
Bro, to have a sense of humor where you can always be like cutting the dark in half or even just suppressing it.
There is nothing that makes me happier inside than thinking of something super dark. That's why I love being around comedians because I can say the darkest shit.
And you're in safety
like,
net all the time.
Yeah, there's nowhere else I could say this except around these people.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I've done that though, right? Where you're like, I've been in circles sometimes where they're like, you know, it's been, somebody will say like, oh, you're the comedian, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, all right, now there's pressure. These guys are like, now I'm a little bit more
civilians.
Yes. And now I'm a little bit more like, dude, if you know, I know there's an expectation and, you know, or if a buddy brought me over and he's like, dude, they think they're fans or whatever. I'll go out of my way to do some you know, not bits, but just be more, but I'm like that anyway. So I'm like, but maybe you turn up a little bit. But I definitely was in a situation once and was not, you know, bringing anything special to the table, but I was just hanging out and the guy made a comment about me being a comedian. And like, you're not that funny. You haven't really said anything funny so far. And
oh boy.
And I threw some stuff back and it just made it weird. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of roasted him and it was like stuff, you know, something
dude.
about him being bald and then his wife was like, he's got alopecia or something, or maybe even cancer. It was something bad. You know, he had something when she came to us, like, well, he's, you know, we're not all, you know, it's been, you know, why don't you pick out someone just immediately? And I was like,
who's not dying of cancer?
Yeah, he set me up for this, though. He came to me, you know.
I just love that. I remember someone at the store, their parent had died, and like everyone knew they were down and we're in the back hallway, and I said something like, well, dude, fucking, you know, and I made some comment about their mom being dead, and it hit, and everyone let it go, and I was like, thank God. But, you know, among civilians, you can't always do that,
which is kind of a bummer.
But I do love when I'm doing a show. You ever be doing a show and then you say something, and then someone in the crowd will either call something out or riff back with you.
Yes.
And it hits so hard, and you just go, touche, bro. Right on. That's fucking solid. Because we can recognize, you know, we can see it. A pro, we can all watch professional baseball player throw a baseball, right, and be like, oh wow. But a pro is going to know the difference between 103 and 98.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're going to see 98 and 103 the same way.
Yes.
So when we see it, it's just like, oh, nice work.
How do you do you write on stage a lot, or do you have, I mean, I know you have the voice recorder, but like, are there
I find that 94% of the time, the first time I put it in my voice recorder is the right way to do it. But then I'll get on stage and I'll riff and I'll try to expand it. Sometimes I'll sit and just like listen to a set at home at my desk and then write there to come up with new stuff. But for me, it's like the more I can get on stage. I'm going to New York in a couple of weeks, bro.
Nice.
And I'm doing 13 shows in 3 nights, and I cannot wait.
Oh my God.
I cannot wait.
For what?
I'm going to do a don't tell. I'm going to tape a little don't tell.
Awesome.
And then I'm just doing spots. So I'm going to like have different sets that I'm going to work on, and then just like one night I'm like, oh, let's riff that. Let's go here. Let's do
That's
crowd,
methodical, dude.
I can't wait.
That's wild. So you're going to have a different, you're going to kind of predetermine how you want to approach each set.
I'm going to have.
Because what if a room is like, you're like, all right, this one is all this killer new material, but there's 30 people in the crowd. Still act accordingly or not?
No, I'll bounce if I'll quickly change if the room lends to it. You know what I mean? That's the whole beauty of like being in New York. You can get up that many times and there's no pressure.
Spots.
Just
That's
boom,
wild.
bounce around. Oh, dude, it's sick. It is so
Didn't
sick.
Steve Burns set the record one time?
In one night?
Yeah, he did like
13.
Yeah.
13 in one night.
Wow.
That's crazy.
You going to subway it?
Yeah, but these are all like walking distance, I think. So I might Uber those. I don't think I'm going to like, because some of them are like, I have like 8 minutes in between.
Holy shit.
I'm doing New York Comedy Club, The Stand. Those are the where the bulk of my sets are going to be.
Wow, dude.
And I'm so stoked for
What
it.
prompted going out there?
To do this Don't Tell.
Yeah.
I wanted to do one. I hit them up. They said, yeah, the one they had I couldn't do. They're like, you want to do New York? I'm like, I'd love to do New York.
Bro, they have such an audience and such a following, and it's like you put up a little 10-minute clip, and it's just like...
And they do a great job,
Yeah.
too. They do a great job of how they shoot them. They put them in unique... people trust... there's like certain things like, the Geffen Theater in Westwood? I go there all the time. All the time. I love the Geffen. There's this French restaurant.
See shows.
Yeah. I love going to plays. It's like one of my favorite things.
Let's go.
I'll go.
Let's go to a play.
We're out of here right now.
Not now.
But
Rick and I just went and saw Mrs. Doubtfire musical. I mean, I know it's not a play, but it is a play. But it
is. Yeah.
You mean like a one act?
I love. There's a great one woman show going on there right now, and I took this woman on a date, and she goes, "What are we going to see?" I go, "I don't know." She goes, "You don't know anything about it?" I go, "I don't." I go, "But I trust the Geffen."
Yeah.
Just like the Ford, not the Ford. Royce Hall at UCLA, their programming is sick. So
Electric Lodge in Venice.
Electric Lodge.
Went and saw Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, you don't think I know? You ever see Peanut Butter Falcon?
Bro.
Have you seen Peanut Butter Falcon?
He was unreal in this show. It was David Mamet new it was the first
I wanted to go so bad.
Stab at it.
Yeah, and then they extended it, and I still couldn't get tickets.
Bro, guess who was there just sitting around us?
Who?
Electric Lodge, by the way. Great venue in Venice. Shout out. They did stand-up shows for a little bit there.
Now, listen, I had a girlfriend one time who did a show there, and I went to it, and she was topless in it. And then I had to meet her mom. I met her mom like at the halftime. Guy who's never been to a play.
Hilarious.
Hey, at halftime, you want to grab a snack? And I was like,
Mom
hey.
was like, so what'd you think?
No,
She's good.
She
was like that.
I love those tits. All right, wait, who was at Electric Lodge?
Wait, no, go ahead. You met the girl?
No, I met her mom, and I was just like, she's doing a great job, huh? Like, what are you going to say? All my friends there to see my girl's tits?
Oh, God, they were?
Yeah.
How was the mom?
She was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf was in the show.
Yeah.
So the stars came out. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you 4 celebs that were there.
And I'll tell you if they impress me.
Oh, okay. I was going to have you guess what 4 celebs you think came to see Shia LaBeouf.
Jesus Christ.
This will give you an
Bryan
idea.
Cranston.
Good guess?
Thank
no.
you. Thank you. No, I have no other idea.
I think it was just 3.
Okay, give him.
No,
to me.
4.
All right, just give them to me.
2 guys, 2 girls.
Give me.
Timothy Chalamet.
That's great. I like that.
Right in front of me, too.
Yeah.
Wearing a mask. I knew it was him. Mask and a hat. Comes up. I go, Timothy Chalamet. But I, by the way, said it way louder to where he went. And I was like, fuck. Now he knows. I was waiting for him to move.
Sure. And he was like, he looked at you and he goes, we'll be right back.
Imagine. Oh, I actually thought about once I saw him do a little head turn, tapping him, going like, dude, secret safe. We're good. But that was like, that's just going to make it weirder.
Yeah.
Chalamet was there. Kira Sedgwick.
Kira Sedgwick.
Sedgwick?
No, Sedgwick.
Sedgwick.
Yeah.
There's a DG in there, right?
Yep.
Sedgwick. Of the Kevin Bacon home.
Yeah, they're amazing together too on social. Do you watch them on social?
Yes. By the way,
I also,
if she's ever been introduced like that before, that's probably bad.
I used to help out this director, Mattia Carell. She made this movie called The Red Door. Kira Sedgwick was in it, and I helped a bunch.
Cool.
Behind the scenes, helping the director, Mattia.
Sedgwick was there.
Yep.
She's cool. Yeah, they crush on it on Instagram. Kate Hudson.
Okay. Almost Famous. She'll always be.
Come on.
High on the
Failure
totem.
Launch. What's the Dane Cook movie?
It did launch though, right?
What?
I don't know. I've never seen it. The Dane Cook movie you said.
And Evan Peters, Dahmer.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That dude's an
It
actor.
was right after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a real actor.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Menendez show right now.
Yeah, how is it?
Crazy.
Yeah.
What a wild story.
I mean,
why are we
crazy.
so obsessed with murder? Every show. I actually saw a billboard the other day. It was like the murder factory or something. And I'm like, dude, there's How to Get Away with Murder with Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
There's, I mean,
Tons.
every doc.
You don't even have to. It's just.
Every show has a little. Even some new Joshua Jackson, the kid from Mighty Ducks, and obviously tons of other stuff. He's a great actor. He's on a boat. He's like the fucking, it's like Love Boat meets fucking Murder Factory.
That's right.
And he's like, it starts off and it's from Ryan Murphy and the producer of Reno 911 and he comes around the corner and he's like, and they're like, Captain Johnson. He's like, it's gonna be a great ship. Hopefully no icebergs. He didn't say that. And so. And then it just cuts.
Though.
And then it just cuts to somebody just fucking chest compressions, and I'm like, dude, we love it. Why do we love it?
I don't know.
It's the easiest conflict to always have to
solve.
Yeah. Do we always need a mystery?
I could be a really good murderer. I think I could get away with murder big time. Like I don't follow any.
That's what a murderer would say.
I don't think so. I think they just keep hush about it. I'm not killing anybody, but whatever. I've been watching The Old Man. Did you watch The Old Man?
Who's that?
Jeff Bridges on FX, dude. Oh man,
Love me some Bridges.
come on, bro. He's the best. It's really good. Season 1 was dope.
He's a type of guy where you go, he's going to act until he can't anymore, until something gets in his way. Do you ever think you'll do stand-up until like 100?
No, you know what's funny? That I had this conversation on the other day. Like, it's not just stand-up.
With him?
No.
Oh.
With a friend of mine. I direct as well, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
I love.
Did you direct your special?
No.
Yeah.
I honestly
You don't want that.
One, I think I need to focus on my stand-up, and I don't want to worry about anything. And I honestly don't even know what goes into directing specials. You know what I mean? Like, I know how I'd want something to look aesthetically, and I had input with that. But when it comes to everything else, I'm like, go do it. And then when the edit came around, then I would definitely had a lot to say about the edit.
You should direct Sal's next special.
That'd be fun.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. But I was telling someone, I'm like, you know what? I have so many other interests that at some point I think I would like to be able to, when I feel like I've gotten to where I want to be in this business, there's so many other things I'd want to do.
Like?
Buy a small chateau in France and turn it into like a boutique hotel. Make furniture. I'd like to be a furniture maker.
Whoa.
I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah. Don't you make a lot of
Yeah, I love woodworking.
couches and shit? No. Tables?
Yeah, I made tables.
Have you made a couch?
Never made a couch. Couch is
Who
tough.
do I follow that makes couches?
I don't know, but you got to get into upholstering, dude. A lot of upholstering going on there.
Wait, how did you start? You've always been a...
Someone left tools in my house. That's it. My buddy came over to help me build a table, and he's from the South, and it took so long to do step 1. And I go, all right, let's get going. He's like, oh, I got to roll. I go, bro, what? And the next day, I texted him a photo, and I had finished the whole table. He goes, Jesus Christ, give a guy some tools. And after that, I'd love to take some classes and really start to learn.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about guys putting shit together that I think
I love it.
not only is cool, women find it very cool.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'd like to own a restaurant at some point.
Me
I'd like
too.
to build out, design, the whole deal.
Can you can't, by the way, is there one in my, that's either me pitting out or there's a termite in my armpit.
Yeah.
From the producers of Fried Green Tomatoes.
Termite in
my armpit.
Dude, let me just tell you, Adam Ray, when you do the thing when you walk through a mall and you do you point.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many people about you. I'm like, how does Adam Ray have the bandwidth to do that? To sit on a plane and people come in and grab pictures and then come up with stuff.
It's a quick hit.
Then to do stand-up, then to do Dr. Phil, then to be an actor, then to be a husband. I know you're not great at it. To be an uncle. You're a really good uncle. You know what I mean? You carry a lot. Do you write?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm just waiting for somebody to,
Same.
the amount of, I've now, I don't let the reps that have been discouraging or that haven't wanted to fuck with what I'm doing because of it's not going to make them money discourage me, but I'm well aware of be ready with stuff when the opportunity, hopefully in the next year or two, presents itself. But I'm also, some of those things I'm just going to get funded and make.
Yeah.
Just need to carve out time because the next year's just getting a little busy. But I do want to just I think I'm going to keep the summer open to do one of those things that I've wanted to do for a while.
Hell yeah. Let me
just
know.
do it. And that's how the Dr. Phil stuff even started, was just all right, enough's enough. Need to just create on my own and not wait around because that's what was happening. And it's so boring. Yeah, of course I'll let you know.
I'd love to be a part in any way.
Oh my God,
but,
yeah.
Dude, but Dr. Phil that was just you. It was literally if you build it.
Yeah. That was the strike, and then also 3 or 4 auditions in a row where it was man, wow, I thought I fucking...
Yeah.
And all you can do is control you can control and walk out feeling all right, I did my best version of what that was. That's all I think I got to a pretty healthy place with that a while ago. But then you can't, there's certain ones where you can't help but be oh, fuck, man, I don't know if it'd be a game changer.
Yeah.
But you're just I just fucking want that job for
stability,
stability, to open some other doors
all the time.
And so
it doesn't rely on you having to create it. Because as creators, I don't think people understand. Maybe they do. To constantly create takes, with this special, right? I told someone, I'm like, coming up with the idea that I want to do it was not tough. Getting the venue was not tough. Setting the night was not tough. Having the material was not tough. Shooting it, editing it, all of it. It just happened.
Yeah.
But finally putting out, that was the like, we just need to put it out.
Yeah.
And when it's finally out, you're like, oh, we finished. It takes a long time to be a creator and constantly create, and not just doing with a phone like this and a phone like that.
Yeah.
When you really want to do a high production value, like Dr. Phil Live is a production. I mean, there's a run of show happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's legit.
Yeah.
I love it when
gotta have you on too.
I mean, I don't know if I could handle it.
Yeah,
but
you could. You're an ultimate player for that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I love when Dr. Phil is almost cracking. That's like the greatest.
Oh yeah. We well, I can't tell you, but we just did something, but I'll tell you off camera. Yeah. Sorry. We're gonna close this show out with. By the way, where do you get the title for Here We Go Again?
Well, because it was material that I'd done in the past, and I kind of wanted to like tip my cap to everyone that like, hey, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I love this material, and I wanted to share it in one place, you know, all straight through. And I wanted to introduce like, you know, some people who may have just gotten hip to my comedy in the last 5 years. Here's some stuff that people used to love. And I've had so many people that have been following me for a long time that are like, dude, I loved seeing these again. I forgot this joke or I forgot that joke. Yeah.
Obviously, probably with added stuff pre or post.
Little bit, yeah. Little bit.
That is one of the things that's kind of shitty, I guess, that there's never like a true endpoint with a bit, maybe. I mean, maybe there is, but like...
Oh, God.
But there's all... just because of the nature of...
You have to just let it go sometimes.
Yeah.
The other thing that's kind of, you know, look at the Rolling Stones. They'll tour on the same songs for 5 decades. In comedy, people are always like, what's new? What's new? And it was something really refreshing for me to just say, hey, this is all good stuff. Like, enjoy this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll put it together for you. Here you go.
Where do you get people when they come up to you and say they're a new fan? What's it usually from? I mean, you've got so many clips that have popped off and gone viral, but like specials, sets, the commercial that you directed and put together to basically show as like, hey, write to people that make that stuff to say, hire me, right?
Yeah.
That's on your YouTube page.
Yeah.
What is that titled?
That's called Any Asshole.
Yeah.
Basically means
you wrote and
any
directed it,
asshole
right?
can-
And just
yeah.
it was your
Can direct
Yeah.
a commercial.
Wait, talk about it.
I mean, you know, to break into anything is really hard. So, like, Mitch Hedberg used to do a great joke where he's like, you know, as a stand-up, people want you to be a writer. He was like, that's like asking a farmer to be a chef. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing.
Right.
So, to direct commercials, even though I directed so many sketches over the last 5 years, probably like 60, 70 sketches, like produced, directed, high-end, not high-end, but, you know, quality television stuff. To get into commercials, they're like, have you ever done commercials? And I'm like, no.
I'm trying to get into it.
I'm trying to get into them. So I knew this guy who owned a production company that did commercials, and he was like, let's shoot something. So I pitched him this idea, and he's like, let's go do it. And then I called in favors to Joel McHale, Neil Brennan, Johnny Knoxville,
Blake.
Kumail Nanjiani, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, dude, slayed.
He's so funny.
Slayed.
He came on the Phil show. He was fucking amazing.
Of course, dude.
Athletes have no responsibility to be funny. And I'd say over 90% are not. Mm-hmm. Sense of humor for sure. But man, to have actual timing and just to be down and fearless and be like, tell me what to do, I want to do it.
Yeah.
But then to actually do it is like...
Well, when I wrote it for him, I said to him, I hit him up, I go, hey, I wrote you this character in this thing I'm doing, and I made him the beta, and Kumail's the alpha.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Blake, and he's like, this is funny, when do you want to do it?
Awesome.
And he just showed up, and he was ready. Dude, he was adding stuff that I didn't tell him to do.
Cool.
He was just doing it, and I'm like, oh, man, he is so good.
It's called Any Asshole.
Any Asshole, yeah. The title was going to be Any Asshole Can Direct a Commercial.
It's brilliant.
It's my way of saying, at the very, you know, and in it, Neil Brennan says to me, he's like, Jay, any asshole can direct a commercial. Because Neil directs a lot of commercials.
I haven't seen it, but I'll check that out.
You just heard about it.
I heard about it.
Yeah, that and Schindler's List.
Trying to call you back.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to close this out. Here We Go Again is streaming on YouTube. I love you.
I love you too, buddy. Appreciate it.
We did this.
Yeah, I love it.
And you're going to be on the road coming up. Dates, Jay Larson
I'm going
comedy.
out with Sal a
I know
little
you are,
bit
yeah.
in October, November, and then Jay Larson comedy on social media. That's where I post everything.
Let's
and
go.
I'll be in New York in October. Let's go.
All right, we're going to close this out. We're going to get to know Jay Larson a little bit better with a little 10-question questionnaire inside the actor studio style. I'll be playing James Lipton, and you will be playing Jay Larson as himself. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm here with Jay Larson. Jay, what is your favorite word?
Today.
What is your least favorite word?
Never.
What turns you on?
Tits?
Sure.
No, intelligence.
That too. Smart tits?
Yes.
What turns you off?
Ignorance.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Use it in a sentence.
Go fuck yourself.
So throwing it back at somebody.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I like fuck in a sarcastic, fun way.
It's the East Coast go-to, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I also
think
like-
it's a very powerful word that can really mean something.
Oh my God, yeah. When my mom always tells me, still, you just curse too much, and I've cut it significantly down. When I first started, I mean, yeah, it was, she was right. It was just like, fucking, you ever fucking,
Yeah.
It's just like, so what do you, no purpose.
I submitted a reel to a manager one time, and he goes, "Do you know you swore 46 times in a 5-minute?" And I was just like, whoa. And then I went all clean for 5 years. No swears, no sex, nothing for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't help
in
at
your
all.
act or off
In my
stage?
act.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
Kids laughing.
Bro. The greatest.
Yeah, it's the best.
When you make your kids laugh. At what age, I mean, when that first started happening and you like, you knew it was because of you, was like what? Is that like 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But now as almost teenagers, I mean, even more.
I
Impressive,
more
right?
so laugh more when one of them makes the other laugh, or hearing my kids watch The Simpsons and hearing my sons laugh to The Simpsons is probably one of the greatest things.
Whoa.
Because they're getting humor at this high level from people who we've looked up to and we've respected.
Is that your shit too?
What?
The Simpsons. Like, is it
I
like
know. I never watched The Simpsons.
Me neither.
And I just hear this laugh from my son, like, and I'm like, oh man, he's getting something on another level. Yeah, I love that.
It really is I mean, I have gotten to a point, like, in the last few years, and just more aware of it, maybe getting more messages about it from whatever, whether it's, I was in Jersey and this kid was like, my mom has 4 months to live. The only thing that makes her happy is we watch you Dr. Phil things together, and that stuff like that, I'm sure you get those messages too, and just understanding more of how
And you're
comedy.
like, at some point, she won't be right back.
Yikes.
Yeah, good.
Dude, if I had said that, he probably would have laughed.
He would have laughed his ass off.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. People need humor in dark times. That's why comedians usually have a dark past, because we've been in it and we know that you can play in that world. You can still play in that darkness.
Yeah.
And because I always say this to my kids, when something bad happens, they might get down. I'm like, all right, let's deal with it. I understand it, but like, don't let it control the rest of your day.
Yeah.
And I go, it's yours. I go, do you like your life? And they're like, yeah. I go, then take the bad with the good.
Yeah.
Because if you focus on that bad so much, you're going to put blinders up and you're going to miss all the good around you. So just play in the space, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that.
You also got to, and putting it on yourself as much as possible. People that don't want to laugh at themselves. That's why Phil being cool with me doing this is like, he even told me, he was like, if I wasn't cool with it, you would have known about it a long time ago. Dude, when I, at peak Fat Adam, was at a swing party, had my shirt on, classic fat kid move.
Yeah.
And one of the girls at the party called me out for it and started kind of like fat shame me. Like, why are you wearing your
What
shirt?
grade?
5th, I think, maybe 4th, 5th. And I very quickly, and I wasn't like I wasn't roasty. I definitely super insecure about it, sensitive. But in that moment, it almost just came out. And I think it was also like, I just was like, I think more so it came out because I was like, I'm not going to let you make me feel bad or ruin this day for me. I, for whatever reason, went in with that. I knew she'd been making fun of me at school too. And she's like, oh, why are you wearing your shirt? Like, oh, you're going to swim with your shirt on? Like, just insinuating, like, you fat fuck. And I go, and why are you doing that? And I was like, I don't want to make you jealous. Like, because she was like flat. And I was like, I'm saying I had bigger boobs than she did.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how to handle that. And then I walked away, and I remember my buddy was like, dude, you basically said you got boobs. And I was like, I do got boobs, man. I charge you $5 to feel them up. No, I didn't say it. All right, so what sound or noise do you hate?
Screech on chalkboard. I really hate that sound.
Why are you around chalkboards?
I don't know, but you know what I mean. You can hear it in other ways.
Okay, so you've heard it years ago, but it's still...
Yeah, but like if someone drags a knife across on my son, sometimes like
Scraping
he'll be
your
cutting
fork
his steak and the knife is up against the fork.
Oh, God,
I'm like,
I just
bro,
heard it.
Move it.
Oh, God, yeah. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Restaurateur.
Restaurant tour?
Yeah.
Just touring the restaurant?
Yeah, just tour. I would like to have a restaurant.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
A restaurateur.
A restaurateur is someone who owns restaurants.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do? Wait, what would you call the restaurant? Jay's.
No, Alma's.
Who's
The
that?
one that I was trying to, I tried to get this applesauce line for a while called Alma's Applesauce.
Oh my God, I'm in.
Yeah, it's pretty good. My nanny used to make this great applesauce, but it's chunky, and you can like pour it over like vanilla
dude.
ice cream, and you can do. And I want to.
Let's go.
I mean, I have that. Trust me, I have a lot of. I tried to buy a bodega and turn it into like a sub shop / little market.
Oh my God, you got
Tried
it.
twice, and I couldn't. I lost out to the guy who founded Resi.
There's what, 2 type tops? No, Mott's and Tops applesauce?
Yes.
Tops and Mott's is
And
standing in the way of.
And they're all blended pureed. Mine's chunky and full of cinnamon and lemon.
Oh, apple chunks?
Yeah, of course.
I'm in.
Which job would I hate?
Yeah. What profession would you not like to do, Jay Larson?
Installing fiberglass into ceilings. What's that stuff called? The insulator? I don't know. I just feel like it'd be itchy.
Yeah. Anything where you're having to. I mean, I don't think I could ever be a construction guy.
I think I could do so many things and I'd just be content doing it.
Really?
Especially our job is very esoteric. You know what I mean? It just exists through space and your voice. And like construction, at least, that's why I love building stuff, because when I build furniture, it's like you can see it, you feel it. What I started here, I got to here. You write a script, yeah, you have the pages, but you're just like, people are like, oh, you rolling? Yeah, I've written 7. Have they been made? No.
Wow, I know.
Is that nothing? No, it's still something. That Giannis Antetokounmpo, that interview that year that they lost, and they go, do you consider this year a failure? You remember that with his answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. It's
But
like,
what did he say again? He said,
he goes, do you get the raise every year? Every year. He goes, Michael Jordan won 6 championships, so the other 9 were failures? Well, I don't understand. He goes, there's no losing. There's no failure in sports. There's learning and growing. And I was just like,
holy shit.
he is the best, dude. Once he said that, I'm like, oh, this guy gets life. He's not just like, I need to win constantly. He's like, this is what it is. So like, I've never had a movie made or a TV show made. I've gotten close, but it hasn't happened. But they're not failures. I guess they're still wins.
Yes.
But
Also, this business goes so here. It's all over the place. There's so much. Nothing is, I feel like, ever dead.
Yeah.
Timing has a lot to do with everything.
Yes,
And-
especially in this business.
And just you with this special and just how you are as a dad and getting back to like finding your mojo again from taking some time off. Like you're gonna revisit things or find that like you're just in a better space to attack something.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'm proud of you.
Nice.
Yeah. What would you like to have said?
Who touched you? In a Dr. Phil voice.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool. You like Bobby Lee?
I saw you kiss Bobby Lee twice. It's me. I want God. What do you want God to sound like?
Only twice? I don't know if I believe in God as a figure
Okay.
or more just like an existence of a thing.
If he or she could talk, what's the voice? Pick one celeb. You get up there and go, holy shit, you sound like Marissa Tomei, or
A celeb, huh?
or a comedian. Like you want God to sound like Bill Burr, but it's a woman.
No, definitely not Burr. It's like my nightmare. Hey, you fucking here? All right. Maybe Chappelle would be fun of a comedian.
Wow.
Like Chappelle's voice is just like
Chappelle as God in a movie is brilliant.
Oh,
Morgan
God.
Freeman was very cool.
yeah,
But
Chappelle.
hey man.
You just got here, man.
Oh my
I
God.
bet it'd be amazing. That DC special he did is one of my favorite bits of comedy that's ever been done. That like early.
For
special
what it's
is-
worth.
Yeah.
No. Killing Him Softly.
The one where he talks about being in the limo and they roll the window down. He goes, "It was an old limo, man."
Oh man. It was the funniest bit I've seen on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Here we go again. It's a special on YouTube. Jay Larson comedy.
Appreciate you, buddy.
One of the best. Good night, everybody.